Hello, and welcome back to Dear Future Me. I'm Mio, and I'm so happy we can be here together again. In our first letter, we made a promise to our future selves, didn't we? A promise to show up, a promise to give ourselves the permission to begin, even when we weren't ready. It was a moment of quiet courage, a hopeful step into something new. But it's a funny thing that happens the day after you make a brave promise. A different voice shows up. A colder, more doubtful voice that whispers, "Okay, you started, but do you really belong here?" Today, we're going to talk about that voice, that feeling deep in your stomach that you're about to be found out. The feeling that tells you you're not good enough, that you're just pretending. It has a name, Impostor Syndrome, but to me, it just feels like trying to keep a secret. Do you know that feeling? It's that sense that your accomplishments aren't really yours. It shows up in the smallest moments. Maybe someone says something kind about your work, and instead of feeling proud, you feel a wave of panic. Your first thought isn't thank you. It's if only they knew the truth. If only they knew how much you struggled or how much you doubt yourself. Or maybe you're in a room, a meeting, or even a family gathering surrounded by people you admire, and all you can think is, I don't belong here with them. You feel like an outsider who somehow snuck in through the back door, and you're just waiting for security to escort you out. It's an incredibly lonely feeling to be in a room full of people, but feel like you're the only one who doesn't have it all figured out. I think we all know where this voice gets its power from. Our screens. We scroll through a library of finished novels, beautifully bound and celebrated. We see the final product, the polished success, the highlight reel, and we're terrified of our own messy first page with all the crossed out words and tear stains. We compare our secret, clumsy beginning with everyone else's public, polished end. And in that comparison, the voice of doubt finds its strength. It feeds on the gap between our messy reality and their curated perfection. It also comes from the belief that we have to be perfect, that to be truly competent, we must never make a mistake, never ask a question, never say, I don't know. We see experts and we forget that they too were once beginners. We forget the thousands of hours of practice, the failures, the moments of wanting to give up. We see their chapter 20 and feel ashamed of our chapter 1. We forget that learning is supposed to be a little messy. I need to be honest with you. After I finished recording our first episode, I didn't feel relief. My heart was beating so fast. I almost didn't want to publish it, and the only thought in my head was, who do you think you are? The voice was so loud. It told me they only hear this calm voice. They don't see the 5 drafts you deleted or the self-doubt you felt just an hour ago. It told me, you're not an expert, you're not a teacher, you're just pretending, and soon they will all find out. For a moment, I almost believed it. I almost let that fear convince me to stay quiet, to keep this space a secret. And then I had a thought, an idea that felt a little like sunshine through a cloudy window. What if this feeling isn't proof that we're a fraud? What if it's proof that we're being brave? Think about the shaky feeling you get in your legs after a really good workout. It's not a sign of weakness. It's the feeling of your muscles growing stronger, of you becoming more resilient. What if imposter syndrome is just that? A kind of emotional muscle soreness? a sign that you've pushed yourself into new territory, a sign that you're growing. You don't feel it when you're standing still. You only feel it when you're moving forward, stepping into a bigger version of yourself. And that is an act of courage. So, let's try something small together. Let's write a different kind of message to ourselves, one that this little voice can't erase. It's not a to-do list, which can sometimes feel like more pressure. It's a did that list. Tonight, just before you sleep, think of one thing, just one thing, where you showed up today. It doesn't have to be a huge achievement. Maybe you spoke up in a meeting when your voice was shaking. Maybe you finished a task you've been avoiding. Maybe you sent that difficult email. Or maybe you were just kind to yourself on a hard day. That is a huge accomplishment. Write it down. Just one small piece of evidence that says, I was here, I tried, I am in the process. This list isn't for anyone else to see. It's a quiet collection of proof, a private conversation between you and you, reminding yourself that you are doing more than you give yourself credit for. We can't just delete that voice of doubt. It's a part of us, but we can write a kinder, truer story alongside it. We can learn to turn down its volume and to turn up the volume of our own quiet truth, one small sentence at a time. And now, a second letter to my future self. Dear future me. The promise we made last time was harder to keep than I thought. The voice of doubt was so loud today. But I'm writing this to you now so you remember. We felt it. And we did it anyway. I hope you've learned to accept a compliment with a simple thank you, without feeling like you have to apologize or explain it away. I hope you've learned to own your space. And please, remember this moment of doubt, not as a weakness, but as the starting point of our strength. Be proud of us for showing up for this second letter, especially when it felt like we didn't belong. With hope, Mio. And that little exercise we talked about, the did that list, I truly hope you give it a try tonight. It's a small, quiet way to be kind to yourself when the voice of doubt gets loud. If you'd like to read along or review the vocabulary from today's episode, you can find the full transcript in the description below. The link is right there in the show notes for this episode. Thank you again for being here. Until we meet again, please be gentle with the person you are becoming.